What's up, everyone? This is a knife video. Yes, can you imagine the knife guy's actually going to talk about knives? Wow. Thank you very much for all of you who've been very patiently waiting for new knife videos. You guys are like saints. You put up with my crap, the good and the bad, the good, bad, and the ugly. But I thank you for being patient, and today is your day because I am talking about a knife, and it is a fantastic knife at that. So if you're one of these people who don't have time for longer videos, understand that I very much like this knife. I highly recommend it. It's my all-time favorite neck knife ever. Ever. E-V-E-R, ever. I've had literally 35 to 40 different neck knives, and this is my favorite. Nothing can beat this to date. That at least has passed through these hands. So, yeah, so that's the gist of it. So if you're about to go to bed or if you're heading out to work or something and you just don't have time to watch the whole video, that's fine. You can watch the details later. But understand, I love the knife. It's fantastic. You should really get one. It's very affordable. So, all right, now we're getting on to the details here. All right, the biggest detail is it doesn't come with this necklace. I showed this in my EDC video. This is just how I have this on my neck. But understand that it does not come with that. I know, it's very sad. But it doesn't come with it, okay? It's just that I'm leaving it on because even though my hands aren't as fat as they used to be like those diner sausages, my fingers, you know, those big fat ones that are just oh so delicious, the ones you poke your fork into, and the second you do, it shoots hot grease up in your face and just makes like a whistling noise, but they're so delicious. Nope, they're not those anymore. However, they're still kind of, they're not really skinny. They're kind of like slim Jimmy Deans. They went from the good old diner ones to the cheapo frozen ones. Mwah, mwah. But still, too big to fiddle with these tiny little keychain things. So I don't want to take this off. I'm being lazy. I apologize for that. I hope there's no misconceptions that perhaps this silver necklace comes with this knife, because it doesn't. Now that we're past that, let's talk about the knife. This is the CRKT Minimalist. It is a fantastic blade. Like I mentioned before, it is my all-time favorite small fixed blade, and for one major reason, comfort and grip. That's two reasons, isn't it? Kind of the same reason. These extreme finger trolls, a bold statement, CRKT, very bold, because it's hard to get away with an extreme design like this, because this will either melt into someone's hand or it will completely be discomforting. And for me, it happens to just melt in perfectly. Look at that. It looks like it was molded. Fantastic. I have so much grip with this little knife. I mean, more grip than I have with knives that are 6-7 inches long. And I'm talking about, you know, large folders or even small fixed blades. You know, small being smaller than a large fixed blade, but not this small. Maybe I should have said medium. Small wasn't the right word. Yes, I have more grip and more security and comfort in this knife and ergonomics than I have with massive knives. It's been fantastic. In using this knife, extremely comfortable. It just feels like an extension of my hand. It doesn't feel like I'm holding anything. It just feels like it's part of me. And that's what I love about it most. My only gripe with smaller knives like this in the past have been that it's hard to hold on to. A lot of them, the designs are very cool looking, and some of them are very comfortable to hold, but you don't have that grip. I can really feel confident in doing anything with this knife and not having it pull out of my hand, not having it slide out of my hand. I mean, I could be soaking wet, I can dunk my hand in motor oil and then still use this knife with confidence. So that I love, absolutely love. So let's talk a little bit about some specs on this first, all right? We're looking at 5 inches overall, okay? It's extremely light, only weighs 1.1 ounce. All right, the sheath is a ½ ounce, so together it's still under 2 ounces, 1.6 ounces. But it's featherweight light. It is full tang. Okay, all we basically have here is a solid piece of steel with 2 handle scales that are mini bolted on. I say bolted on, but they're not really bolts, they're just screws. So they're screwed on. By the way, they are Torx screws, if you can get the detail there. Focus. There we go, kind of. All right, so yeah, we have some Torx screws, so you can remove those if you're very handy, and perhaps you want to make your own scales for it. Look at it, very simple design. You can make some cool wood scales, or maybe buy your own, you know, different colored G10, or you know, maybe even carbon fiber or something. So if you're handy, you can make your own scales for this. Very cool. I really like that. Anyway, we got a 2-inch blade. all right? It's a hollow ground blade. There are 3 different blade styles the Minimalist comes in. This happens to be the Bowie blade, or Bowie. I happen to say Bowie, but some people prefer Bowie. So either way, that's what it is. You also have a Wharncliffe version of this knife, as well as a Tanto blade, all right? Now, this is bead blasted, if I didn't already mention that, all right, and it's hollow ground, okay? The steel on this is a 5CR15 MOV, which is definitely a softer steel. Rockwell on this is 55 to 57. I've talked to cheaper, softer steels before. They all have their advantages and disadvantages, but the big advantage to cheaper, softer steel is the fact that it is easy to sharpen, okay? I found that this one held a decent edge. Wasn't the best in the world, but it definitely held a decent edge, and if you're like me and you strop your knives, you won't have to sharpen them nearly as often, okay? So blade steel these days, honestly, as long as there's a good heat treat on it, it doesn't mean as much as it used to mean to me. It used to be all about, oh, I gotta get S30V, oh, I gotta get, you know, S90V, I gotta get BG42 back in the day when, you know, Sebenzas were using it. I need the newest steel, I need the craze, oh, nothing but VG10. 440C is crap, you know, AUS 8, crap. You know what? Honestly, don't be a steel flob. That's what I was gonna say, a steel flob. Don't be a steel snob, okay? I've dropped that mentality. I've gone from really wanting the exotic steels to really not caring. As long as there's a proper heat treatment on there, I know how to sharpen my knives. I'll be honest, I never am in a situation where I use my knife, because all my knives are very sharp when I carry them. But I've never gotten to a situation in my entire life where I've used the knife continuously in one session to a point where it was no longer functional. If I've cut in for long durations where it got dull as I'm cutting and I had to use more pressure to cut. But it's not like in a single day I've gone from scalpel sharp to butter knife. All right, so when I get home, if it has dulled or if I use my knife a lot, I'll just touch it up. It's not a concern for me anymore. So blade steels, I don't think are a big deal. I think it's still very important to know what they are for purpose reviews. And some people still have preferences. All steel will definitely have its advantages and disadvantages. So you choose accordingly to whatever your personal preference or needs are. But a lot of knife makers will say even 154 cm is more preferred than S30V because it's just more versatile. There's a lot of reasons that go behind, you know, choosing a steel. But anyway, this again, being a softer steel, the 5CR15 MOV, it's easy to sharpen. Okay, I did actually sharpen it once since I've owned this. But other than that, I just strap it up and it's fine. You get a nice razor edge. I can even do a little nail test for you there. You guys can see that. I want to cut a big chunk. Ugh, keeps falling in this. By the way, everyone likes the new background. It's not really a new background. It's just this is literally my placemat for my dining room table. Okay, I have one of those non-stick things you put in your drawer underneath it so it doesn't slide around. It's kind of nautical type theme. I don't know. I thought maybe it might be too busy, but a lot of people said they liked it. So it's just for convenience. It's not here on purpose, I promise. But anyway, what else can we talk about? Yes, let's talk about the blade shape just for another second. This is the Bowie design. It has a nice sweep on the front here. It's very effective at cutting stuff. One thing I did want to mention on the sheath here, if you notice, the sheath is form-fitted to the Tanto version. Why? Did I get the wrong sheath? No. This is just for convenience, and you have to realize that when a knife goes into a Kydex sheath, okay, most of the retention, if not all of the retention, is coming from the bolster area, okay, right in this section of the knife, right in the middle of the knife. Even though the blade is usually formed as well, the sheath itself is never ever holding the blade. At least in most cases, it's not putting pressure on the blade itself. What it's doing is it's putting its pressure right here at the last rivets, okay, whatever's connecting it. This extreme shape here is what's able to kind of pop and unpop in place. So as I'm pushing this in, the handle is now wanting to separate the sheath a little bit because there's too much pressure. But once it gets to a certain point, it kind of slides back in place, releases that pressure, and it kind of keeps it in. That's what the form fitting does. But when you get this thing, if you happen to get this version or perhaps even the Wharncliffe version, you might look at the sheath and go, oh man, they sent me the wrong one. Well, the Tanto, I believe, has the most surface area in the blade, okay? So you can be versatile because all 3 different designs have the exact same bolster shape and same size, that they'll all fit perfectly here. Now, in this specific case, there is wasted space here, but because there's no tension, it doesn't affect the retention of the knife. It's in here very strong. So just be conscious of that if you happen to look at your sheath. Because when I first got it, that's the first thing I looked at overall was, I'm like, wait a minute, should this sheath go with the candle version? And then I thought about it more and I thought, nope, that's fine. I'm sure they do that just so that they don't have to make 3 different types of sheaths. They make one sheath and they all fit. So very cool. Just take note of that. So anyway, there is some jimping on the spine here, right where it should be. It fits the exact area perfectly. It's I would consider micro jimping. It's very, very fine. So it doesn't offer a great amount of grip, and I've talked to this in the past. It's preference. It really comes down to preference. I don't care, personally, if there's very aggressive jimping or smooth jimping. Doesn't really matter to me. It does help. It gives me a little something something if I want to use my thumb pressure to cut in. But like I've said before, it's not necessarily there to keep your thumb from slipping, because even if your thumb does slip, you can't cut yourself. All right? I mean, take any one of your knives right now while you're watching this video. If you're a knife guy, you're probably flicking one out, playing with it anyway. Take your knife, open it up. Okay, if it's a folder, lock it open. Put your thumb on top here and try the best you can to, without moving your whole grip, but try to slide your thumb off, and you don't want to cut yourself, but try to get it close to the edge. See how close you can get it. Honestly, this is as close as I can get. And even if I try to move sideways, I'm not going to reach that very edge. And maybe I have a stumpy thumb, who knows? My point here is that if your thumb does slip off, whoop, you're not going to cut yourself. It's not a big deal. But some people really do prefer that in how they use their knives. So anyway, just for my report to you about the jimping, it's not very useful. Not on this one anyway. But huge bonus here, guys. Like I said before, this extreme design works. It works for me anyway. Fits me perfectly. It looks like it was molded to my hand. I mean, the fingers, it's just a beautiful feel. I have a lot of confidence in holding this knife. I really do. Let's talk about these scales. This is another downside with these scales, for me anyway. Now, if you look at it just a quick glance, and you know, for the first 2 days I had this, I thought it was just black, but it's not black. This is actually a layered black and green G10. Okay, they don't call it G10. They call it, I don't know, resin impregnated poly, what, I don't know what they call it. But I guess G10 is perhaps a coined term. I don't know if that's a trademark as much as it is the type of material. Either way, that's what it is. It's layered polymer, you know, plasticky type stuff. Okay, I'm gonna call it G10 because that's what it looks like to me. But at first glance, it looks black. But if you look really close, and I have to make sure I get good detail with the camera here, on this side, you can barely see any of it. If I flip it over, you can see it on this side. Now, when you layer it, actually, let me show you the back. Hopefully you guys can see the layering in here in the detail. You see how it looks like little lines that go across? Those little lines are little tiny thin sheets of green. And in between them is black. So it's black, green, they alternate, right? So, don't go unfocused now. So when you're actually cutting into this and grinding it and smoothing it out and stuff, depending on what layer you land on, you'll either have one color or the other. Or in this case, if it's not completely perfectly even, you'll have a little bit of both. But due to this, whatever process they went with, I don't know if they're all different, but this one happened to land like this, and it just gives it kind of a dirty look. It's one of the only things I don't like about this knife. I suppose because they're mass produced and machine produced and not by hand, that it just kind of, maybe it's a grab bag. Maybe some of them look better than others. But this one happens to just look dirty. It looks like there's something stuck on your knife, like there's glue residue or something. But there's not. That's just a layer of green that happens to be showing through. By the way, these are polished. Okay, they're polished handles. There's no grip on them whatsoever. Totally fine. Again, let's go back to those extreme points, those huge finger choils. I don't need any more grip. Okay, in fact, I prefer these smooth, so it's really comfortable. I already have, you know, gained my grip from this. Now I don't need texture, because texture is just going to irritate my skin. So anyway, I just want to mention that, though. It's not Not the best looking finish, okay? Now, going on the same theme of fit and finish, let's talk about the back here where the lanyard is. Now, yes, this lanyard did come with this knife. When it's brand new, they will all come with it, which I think is fantastic. You know, this is where the knife makers, you know, these production companies, they're seeing what the trends are. The trends are people make lanyards. It's very, very popular. All right, so instead of just sending the knife out as is with the lanyard hole, they go the extra mile and give you the lanyard. And what's cool about this is if you don't like it, you can always cut it off. But if you don't get it and you want one, then you have to make one. But it's very thin. Cool little braid here. All right, it does give you added grip to this as well, okay? Because most likely your hand's going to extend past this unless perhaps you're a child or maybe you just have really small hands, or you know, maybe you're a woman with small hands. Most likely you will have extra hands, you know. Obviously there's only 3 finger twirls. So unless you only have 3 fingers on your hand, you come from a different planet, or maybe partial amputee, you're going to have your pinky hanging off the end. All right. So in this case, this gives you that that extra grip, something to hold on to, so your pinky's not just hanging all lonely, like, you know, hey guys, well, you get to hold on to the knife. I'm just kind of hanging on an old sweaty palm here. And I've talked about this in the past, and I think other people have talked about this. And I know for a fact, I'm not talking about me. I'm not talking about anyone specific. But I've said this before, or maybe I haven't. I don't remember, honestly. I got too many videos. People watch YouTube videos, okay? When someone makes a review, and I'm not going to make names, or not mention names, but perhaps they say like, oh, I know Benchmade watches my videos, or I know Spyderco watches my videos. You know what? You may laugh at that and think, they don't care about your videos. You're wrong. Okay, I know for a fact from talking to different representatives, from talking to marketing teams in different companies, I know for a fact that they watch YouTube videos. They watch popular channels. They watch nobodies. What they're doing is they're looking around, okay, on the internet to see what people are saying about their products. It's all part of R&D, you know, research and development. They want to know what people like. What don't they like? Okay, because if there's something that everyone doesn't like, they don't want to make that same mistake again. They want to improve their products. That's very good for a company to do. You know, it's fantastic. Spyderco, Benchmade, SOG. I promise you, I'm guaranteeing that these people who run and, you know, and own these companies and all their people that work for them, they're watching these videos. They're watching your YouTube videos. That's right. You made a knife review about, say, I don't know, a SOG flash. I promise you someone from SOG has seen that video. Because there's people whose jobs are to do that. You know, hey, John, tell you what, I'm going to hire you for this position. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to work marketing. I want you to sell our knives, okay? I want you to make a really pretty looking pamphlet. Maybe they don't use the word pretty. They'll say handsome. Make a handsome looking pamphlet you can hand out, make some, you know, good colors, grab people's attention. It's all part of marketing. And guess what, John? On your free time, well, not your free time, while you're at work and you're maybe not working on that awesome pamphlet of yours, I want you to go on the internet and type in our product name, you know, see what people are saying about our stuff. We want to improve our company. So what I want you to do is find out what people like and what they don't like. So keep that in mind. No pressure, but they are watching. I promise you. So the point being here is that lots of people make videos and lots of people say that, yeah, I put this lanyard on here because I want a little extra something to grip onto. And you know what? Maybe that sparked an idea in one of these people's heads. You know, someone over at CRKT. And they watched someone's video and they said, hey, fantastic idea. Let's do that. So they are listening. So don't be afraid to voice your opinions and be honest, okay? Just because, and this is a fear I had, no, it's not really a fear. I'm not really fearful of it, but it's kind of sad to think, that's not the right word either. It's not fearful. It's not sad. What is it? It's not really annoying. It's a shame. That's right. It would be a shame if, say, someone popular said this knife is good, and then all of a sudden, because everyone, you know, believes, you know, Mr. Popular, that they say, yeah, this knife's good. And then all of a sudden it becomes a trend. Everyone says, yeah, this knife's good, even though many people don't like it. But it's popular to say that it's good. You know what I'm saying? That's not good, okay? You want to be completely honest, 100% honest. You're not going to gain anything by saying something's comfortable if it's not, by saying something cuts good if it doesn't, okay? That's not the purpose here. Not even close to it. So anyway, let's get back to this knife because that's what this video is about, this knife. Or maybe it should be about this knife. So anyway, let's look at the back here. Okay, like a lot of the CRKT knives, we have the knife name so you don't forget it. And I see faults on there. What does that mean? What's faults mean? Maybe that's the type of steel? Nope. Nope, not at all. Sometimes if you're not into knives, the markings on the blade can be confusing. You may not know what certain things mean. For example, flip this over again, and we're gonna look right down here. Focus. Everyone's waiting. All right, there we go. 2387. I'll guarantee you someone out there got this knife and they said, oh, this has 2387 steel. That's what kind of blade steel it has, 2387. It could be confusing if you don't know, and there's no shame in not knowing, but you know, if you're interested in something, you should probably find out what things mean. That, in this case, that's just the model number. That's all. Product code, model number, whatever. It has nothing to do with the knife itself as far as materials used or anything, okay? But now it comes back to this faults. What the heck is faults? I know I bought a Minimalist, but what's a faults Minimalist? Are there different kinds? No, Faults is the last name. In fact, it's Alan's last name, Alan Faults. He's the knife designer who created this knife, okay? He's out of Greenville, North Carolina. Nice guy, really nice guy. But this comes back to a lot of production knives. They basically are born off of the idea from a custom. All right, this is no different than any other ones in that there's a custom knife out there made by Mr. Alan Faults that he created, that he called the Minimalist, and CRKT saw it, liked it, and said, "Hey, let's collaborate." It's a knife maker collaboration. A lot of knives out there are collaborations. A lot of production knives were customs at one point and still are. It's just, hey, I like this knife, but you know what? Not everyone wants to pay a custom price for it, and CRKT says, hey, you know, we like this knife too. We'd love to make a production version of it. Let's make this very cool design available for the masses at an affordable price. And they work together and they work out a deal, and thus the collaboration is born. We have a custom knife design at an affordable production price. So you get production quality, which isn't bad. It's not maybe as nice as the custom. The finish might be a little bit off, you know, or the options on, say, handle materials or blade steel, stuff like that. It's different. But I love production versions of custom knives because it gives me and you, okay, a chance to be able to have these in our hands. Not everyone can go out and spend hundreds of dollars on knives. So very cool. Going back to fit and finish, there is one more little thing I want to point out, and it is very little, but there's a slight gap in the handle scale. And I believe the reason is that by design here, they attached this lanyard. It went through, and then they cut little notches. Let's see, nothing to point with. Oh, yes, I do. Duh, my EDC. Another reason to have an EDC. Okay, what knife is that? I don't know. Right there, they cut little notches. Come on, focus. Focus. Focus, focus, focus. Today, everyone's waiting. I can't even tell that. There you go. Yes, that's as focused as we're going to get. All right, so right there on either side, there's little notches cut out in these scales to accommodate for that so the scales can fit flush. But right here on the bottom, that notch wasn't cut out properly, so now we have a gap in between the handle scale. And you see me flinch? Anyway, yes, there's a little gap right there. So, fit and finish, not the best, but whatever. It's not a big deal. The handle scale's not falling off. That's the whole point here. So, not a huge consideration. But, yeah. What else? The sheath is awesome. It's a fantastic sheath. Like I said before, fantastic retention. There's no way this is going to come out. Okay, it's a very nice fit on there. Snaps in nicely. Gives you a nice confident sound. I like hearing it snap in. I've had Kydex and different types of molded sheaths in the past that they slip in, they make no noise at all, and I feel like they're gonna fall out. And they've been just as tight, but I love hearing that just very positive snap. There we go. I know my knife's locked in. It's not gonna fall out. Now I prefer this whole neck carry thing with this knife. However, it comes with a belt loop system. Basically 2 screws. You have these little kind of rubber grommet type, not grommets, they're rubber, like, I don't know, O-ring type dealios. They're spacers, that's what they are. Let's use the right words here. Rubber spacers, okay? Now you can mount this in different different fashions. Now, how this came to me, it was mounted on the side like this, okay? So if your feet felt... I should do like mouth exercises before I turn the camera on. I got too much stuff I want to share with you guys, and just not enough. My brain and my mouth, they don't work together very good. Let's try that again. You can feed your belt in this way. If it was mounted in these two holes, you would feed your belt through the belt loop, okay? And this would be for a left side carry, a left side horizontal carry, just like so, be on the left side of your body. Now, if you were to, say, flip this over and mount these on the other side, then you'd have the same thing, only on the right side. Now it's a horizontal right side carry. Very cool. We're looking at options here. I like options. Now, these top two holes also line up. So you can carry it, or you can mount the clip like this for a vertical carry, if you happen to prefer that. So now we got a vertical right side carry. Of course, flip this over, you got the vertical left side carry. So you have 4 different, actually, I'm gonna say 5 different carry options. Right side vertical, right side horizontal, left side vertical, left side horizontal on the belt, okay? That's 4, and then our 5th one is, of course, neck carry. And as far as neck carry, you have 6 different holes here you can use in any kind of combination you want to attach it to any kind of cord to wrap around your neck, or in this case, a necklace. So many, many different carry options. Of course, you could just simply throw this in your pocket. Easy as that. So that's also an option as well. And in fact, it's small enough you can throw it right in your pocket and carry it around like a little multi-tool or anything else and not be bothered by it. I mean, this is pretty much the size of most medium to large size folding knives, when they're closed. Okay, took a phone call. And now I'm all done, and it seemed to have gotten darker in here. Anyway, I think I pretty much covered everything I intended on to, except for perhaps the price, right? Very important. This retails for $34.99. However, most places you will not pay that. The average price for these online are $15 to $20, okay, which I think is a fantastic price for this. I'd buy these all day long. In fact, I'm very interested in getting the Warncliffe version. Don't really care about the Tanto version of this one, but the Warncliffe I think could be very effective as well. But it's a fantastic knife, extremely highly, very much recommended and suggested by me for you guys to check out. They're awesome. If you have these, please make video responses. Let me know what your thoughts on them are, especially after use. I have probably 2 or 3 weeks of carry and use with this one. Now, I didn't use it every single day, but when I do reviews, I do go out of my way to use the knives so I can get a better understanding of what they are and speed up the whole time period. If I would just EDC this video, it might take me, I don't know, a month or 2 before I use it enough to really know what I like about it and what I didn't like about it. But I like to speed that process up because there's so many knives to talk about. So anyway, that's all. I'm very much a fan. So thank you very much to the person who sent this to me as a gift. It was an awesome, awesome gift, and I'm going to continue to use it for a very long time. So thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate your time as always, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Take care.